What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a little bit of a safety video, I suppose, for you guys today. A little something different. So anyway, I went to this place with a load of lumber, and it was a no tarp load of lumber. And you'll see a lot of us flatbed guys that have the tarps on the front right here. We have nowhere else to put them, and they'll set these up on top of the lumber for you. So that's what I usually do. If it's a no tarp load, throw the strap across the top of the lumber like this, bind them down just like that. Anyway, this is an important part of the story, as well as I have this piece of sticker here, sticker stock, whatever you want to call it, that the lumber sets on. Now, this place I went to uses a wheel loader to unload with, which, as you guys know that haul lumber for a living, a forklift fork is thinner to go under the bundles of lumber. So these are 1.5 inches tall, and the lumber sets on them. You have your strap that runs under here, goes around the bundle of lumber, and holds the bundle of lumber together. But they have wide, they're about twice as wide as a normal forklift fork, and they're thinner to go up under here. Well, on a wheel loader, or if you do job site deliveries with a telehandler, they'll always have a telehandler, and they try to use that. And the forks on those and the wheel loaders are about 2.5 inches thick. So the fork is like this much thicker than what they're trying to go under, so they can only get it under there about halfway usually before it hits. And so this is important for this video, what happened, what played out. So a lot of times they can finagle it around. If they can get a little over half of it to 2/3 of it on there, they can tilt the forks back, and then it'll slide back down the forks up against the carriage there, and then they can unload it. And so I've seen this done several times, and a lot of us, or a lot of places, will start unload you while you're in the process of taking your straps off. And so when you get your straps undone and you go around to the other side of the trailer and you come back, start rolling them up and whatnot, well, they're in a hurry, so they will go to the other side of the trailer and start unloading you. Well, this is kind of one of those places. I had gotten all my straps off already, as the forklift driver, wheel loader operator, was tied up doing something else, moving some other lumber around. So I had already got everything unstrapped. He came over, he started unloading me. He started at the back at the back of the trailer, was working his way forward. I had got back in the truck and sat down, was waiting on him, and he went around to the other side of the trailer over there, was moving some lumber. And generally I will get back out of the truck, because they'll come around and pull up right here. When they set this bundle of lumber down, you can move your tarps back off onto the trailer. Or sometimes you have some of the impatient forklift drivers don't want to wait on you to do that, and they will shove them off, and they can actually break your glad hands off the front of your trailer up here in the process of doing that. So I usually will get back out of the truck when I see the guy coming back around, and wait for him to set the bundle down. Or sometimes if I see it's one of those impatient guys that he's going to try to push him off beforehand, I will wait, tell him to stop, hold up, and I will hop up here on the catwalk. And if he's got the bundle on the other side removed already, I will just drag him off and let him drop onto the trailer that way, and guide him down so that they don't break my glad hands off my electrical connection on my trailer. Anyway, I was about to get out of the truck in preparation to get my tarps and everything down, and he was those wheel loaders, they have enough reach to reach all the way across the trailer. They can unload the truck from the same side all the way down. That's what he was doing, but most of them that I see do this, they will come to the driver's side. It's safer that way, so you can be in contact with the driver. He can see you, you can see him, and it's a lot better to do it that way. But this guy wanted me to pull straight forward into this spot. He was unloading me from the passenger side, which I didn't really care for, but that's the way he was doing it. And so he was on the passenger side, and my truck was at just a little bit of an angle, enough that I couldn't really see if he was still unloading, if he was trying to get forks under the front bundle, or if he was reaching over to get one of the bundles from this side, because my tarps were sitting here on the second bundle up. There's 2 bundles stacked here, and then there was I think 2 bundles behind it. Anyway, so all of a sudden, as I go to get out of the truck, I see him start pushing, trying to get his forks under. As I say, I don't know if it was the last bundle on that side or this side. He was starting on the last few bundles that was on the front here. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 bundles left, but anyway, I see the lumber start coming off, and all of a sudden all of it came down and all landed here on the ground. Luckily nobody was standing around. I was getting out of the truck, or fixing to get out of the truck, so I wasn't standing here. So that's something to be mindful of. But it fell all the way, and as you can see up here, it got my air deflector wing on my truck here. It damaged it. I did not say anything about it. It scratched it across here, but the boards, some of them were jammed in here, laying across at an angle, as you'll see in the picture in a minute. But the guy never got off of the wheel loader. He came around here, and there was lumber all the way out in this area here, all the way out behind the landing gear here. And so he comes around, and he didn't have the pivoting forks. He had the actual carriage style forks that are better, where you can put down pressure. So he comes around here and just sticks them in the ground, starts dragging this lumber back, and he hit my trailer a time or two, I think, and whatnot. But so I didn't video this. I didn't hop out of the truck with a camera and get this on video, because I was more worried about the damage he was fixing to do with my truck, because he never got off the lift to look at anything. He just comes around there and starts trying to pull this stuff back away from the truck. And like I say, I was pulled in, so I couldn't drive forward, and all these boards was leaned up against the truck here. If I could have drove forward, I probably could have just drove away from it. But the way it was, they're all leaned up here, wedged in behind my sleeper cab here, and all up against the side of the truck, and so I couldn't back up. And so I actually had to get out of the truck and come back here, and after he got a few of the boards pulled away from it, I had to get in here and start manually moving boards with my hands, because as I say, this guy never got off the forklift or the wheel loader the whole time this was going on, before or after the incident or accident. And so that kind of frustrated me. I thought that he should have got off and at least helped to get some of them off my truck, but he did not. But anyway, so he broke about half the boards trying to grab them with his forks that didn't break when they hit the ground, trying to grab them with that big wheel loader and drag them back. He broke several of them. But anyway, got all that cleared up. I got out of there. I did not bother going to try to report this and getting them to fix it. It's an older truck, so I wasn't that worried about it. I'm glad that we didn't break any electrical connections or anything off right here. This was already broke. That was just a spare. It's a spare set of glad hands that this truck has for pulling a tag trailer. This truck was used to pull tag trailers. It's got a pedal hitch on the back of it back here, and so it's got several places you can hook up air to. So that's all that is. So that's no big deal. Anyway, after he got done dragging some of the stuff back, at least enough of it, there were still some boards and stuff under my tires that fell and wedged up under it, but looked like I could drive over it. So I got in the truck and backed out of there, since I didn't want him running them forks into my tires and tearing my truck up any worse than the boards falling up against them already. And so there was still a very large pile of lumber out here on the ground whenever I left, but somebody had to go back and restack all whatever was still good out of that pile of mess. But that wasn't my problem, wasn't my concern. I was safe. Nothing was too badly damaged anyway. So I just wanted to do this video as kind of a safety reminder to people, and not only truck drivers, but the forklift operators, if they happen to run across this. Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to the driver. Drivers, pay attention where the forklift is at all times. Best place to be is in your truck. But there's some of these places you go to that you'll be rolling up your straps, and they're going to start trying to unload you. You need to kind of distance yourself from that situation and be mindful of the forklift traffic running around and whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to throw a picture of this up here at the end of the mess. Like I say, I did not want to hop out with my camera and be recording this guy in the middle of all this. Everything was going on. I was concerned about what he was fixing to tear up, more so on my truck that he already did. I don't know how long this guy had been running a wheel loader, whether it was 2 years or 2 days or whatever. But either way, I bet his boss was not too happy with him, and he got a firm talking to after I left. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you guys in the next video.